Are you ready for the last block on our So Happy quilt? Hi everyone, Cristin here, and oh my gosh, we're on our last block for the So Happy quilt for Oh So Delightful. So we have sections 1, 2, and 3 completely done, and then we have several blocks for section 4 already done. And we just have one more. Oh my gosh, how exciting is that? I can't believe it. We're on our last block. So the last block, let me grab my packet here. So our last block is the sewing machine. It's on page 28 of our booklet, and you can see there's a few things in this one. So let's go over what we are going to need for today. My red fabric is sticking in my packet. There we go. All right, so page 28, and there's a few things on this one that I want to talk to you about. So let's go over our fabrics first. So we have our background fabric. I'm going to have to re-iron mine because it was in my packet and it didn't quite fit. This is a big piece of fabric. So we're going to start with this at 12.5 by 10.5, and you can see it is a gray with like snowflake flower or something or other on it. Gray with white snowflake or flowers. I think it's little flowers. Anyway, 12.5 by 10.5 for our main fabric, and this is a big one, so make sure to back this with Fusible stabilizer to ward off puckers. So if you're using a 5x7 hoop, if your largest hoop is a 5x7 hoop, there are special instructions, a special PDF on the CD for you, for those that are using a smaller hoop. All right. For the rest of us, we will use, I think it's a 6x10. Yep, 6x10. But our quilting design, so we've talked about this before, the quilting design is actually 8x10. So keep in mind, right? Big old fabric. We'll talk about the quilting design. Let's finish with the fabrics first. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. All right, so we are going to have our sewing machine fabric. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? I love this. So it's floral on a navy blue fabric, and we're going to have this at 7.5 by 5.5 for our sewing machine fabric. I did back mine with Fusible stabilizer. It's an applique piece. That's up to you. I like to do that. I like it more crisp and easier to cut and all that. So 7.5 by 5.5 for our main fabric. I'm sorry, for our sewing machine fabric. Our main fabric was that gray one. Okay, and then we have a fabric square. So I want to talk to you about the fabric square too. So the fabric square, I would not recommend backing this with Fusible stabilizer. This I mentioned in the prep video that I would leave this without if I were you. So this one we are going to have it 2.5 by 2.5, and it's just a red fabric with those little starbursts on it, flowers. I don't know what you call them. They look like little starbursts to me. So 2.5 by 2.5. So I want to mention Heidi Todd did the cutest idea. She, instead of doing one piece of fabric, she cut up several pieces of fabrics in, I think, probably 1-inch squares, and then sewed them together to make it look like a quilt coming out of her sewing machine. So that's an idea. That was really a cute idea. I liked that a lot. But so some ideas, something to personalize it. I'm going to personalize mine in a different way, and I'll talk about that. But this fabric, however you do it, whichever fabric that you choose, 2.5 by 2.5 for this piece. And like I said, I would not back it with Fusible stabilizer, so it'll hang nicely. All right, and we'll have to be careful to make sure it doesn't get sewn into the seams when we piece our blocks together. So that's another thing to keep in mind. All right, and then we have our embroidery leather. There are 2 pieces of black embroidery leather. You don't back these with anything. They've got a soft backing on them. And we have one for the hand wheel. The hand wheel one is 1.5 by 3. 1.5 by 3 for the hand wheel of black leather. All right, and then the other piece of black leather is for the bottom piece. It's called a sewing machine base, and it's going to go this way, and we're going to start with this at 8 by 2. 8 by 2, and again, don't pack it with anything. Just leave it leather as it is, 8 by 2. All right, and then our batting. So we're going to quilt this. So our batting is going to be 11 by 9, big piece of batting, 11 by 9 for your batting. And we're going to quilt this with Hobby 6 in an 8 by 10. So I've mentioned this before. The project itself, the sewing machine by itself, fits in a 6 by 10 hoop, but we need to quilt this, and we want to quilt as much of the fabric as we're going to need. So if we are using an 8 by 10 quilting design, that means our final cut size should be, let's see to make sure, 10.5 by 8.5. All right, so that's why we want an 8 by 10 quilting design. So if you're using a smaller hoop, in fact, if you're using an 8 by 12 hoop, it still will not fit. And I mentioned this in other videos. An 8 by 10 quilting design will not fit in an 8 by 12 hoop because it will actually be 8.5 by 10.5. All right. That extra bit is the placement and the tack down of the main fabric, which is steps 3 and 4 of the quilting. So if you take those out, if you use software, I don't know if you can do it on your embroidery machine. You could try. Some machines will even let you bypass those. Mine does not. Oops, sorry, kicking my light. But if you open it in software, you can see it will show you on your embroidery software, it will show you the size of it, and it's 8.5 by 10.5 for the quilting design. So if you take out those steps in 3 and 4, it will bring it down to an 8 by 10 quilting design. And some hoops that still won't fit. I don't remember exactly what my brother one is. I want to say it's like 7.87. So even that may not fit in an 8 by 12 hoop, and you may need to use the reduce button on your machine or on your embroidery software to bring it down just a bit. It all depends on your hoop. All the hoops have different specific sizes. So even if it is an 8 by 10 quilting design, it will not fit in an 8 by 12 hoop. So just keep that in mind. Do what works for your hoop, your machine, your software, whatever it is. But I will probably use my 9 by 14 hoop. I'm pretty sure I'll use my 9 by 14 hoop. If you don't have that option though, like I said, take out steps 3 and 4, see if it will fit. If it doesn't, reduce it just a tiny bit. All that does, you're just reducing the quilting, not the entire design. So you don't do it after you've imported that sewing machine. You would do it when it's just the quilting design. And just reduce it a little bit. Nobody's going to know that it doesn't go all the way to the edges. In fact, this Hobby 6 design, it doesn't go into the seam, so it won't be a problem. All right, so for the rest of us, for those with a bigger hoop, I'm going to use my 9 by 14. And like I said, an 8 by 10 quilting design in Hobby 6. Hobby 6 in 8 by 10. And both designs will be centered. So there are some special cut instructions. I think it's just to be careful not to cut that fabric square. Center horizontally. Yeah, this will be fine. So, so one thing is I'm thinking of personalizing mine. I've followed the book to a T on all of the blocks so far, but on this last one, I'm thinking about personalizing it, and that is totally optional. And I will bring you over to the computer to show you what I have in mind. I'm thinking, well, I'll just show you. Join me. Hey everyone, so I'm at my computer now. I am going to open up Embrilliance Essentials. I have not already tested this. So we're just going to spend a little time looking at different fonts and different ideas. When I open Embrilliance, I already have it open because I was working on it for Red, White, and Bloom, and I'm going to keep this here. So I'm just going to go to File, New Page to open up a new block here. So let's see, I can do it just on the sewing machine. Now that I think about it, I have to figure out how to do this. I'm going to open up my 9 by 14 hoop. So now that I think about it, I should bring in the quilting design too. I'm going to go ahead and just import everything and go from there. So I'm in my 9 by 14 hoop. You can see your hoop size down here. I went to this preferences folder to change my hoop. I'm going to go to this compass and say H to zoom into my hoop. And I'm going to go ahead and go to merge stitch file, and I'm going to bring in the quilting design first. So let's see, and that'll give me an opportunity to show you about that 8 by 10 as well. So I am, let's see, Oh So Delightful right there, and then the quilting bundle. And we are looking for Hobby 6 in an 8 by 10. embroidery files, block by block is the technique we are using, and we're going to scroll down to an 8 by 10. There's right there, 8 by 10 hobby 6. Double click on that, it will go to the center. Now notice if I were in an 8 by 12 hoop, let me show you real quick for those that their biggest hoop size is an 8 by 12. So see how it's too large for, the design is too large for the hoop. And you can see down here, it shows you the size of the design. So it's 8.5 by 10.5. It's in red because it doesn't fit. And it also tells me my hoop size right here. So my hoop size is less than 8. So if I were to, I'm going to go ahead and just do this to show you real quick. If I were to delete 3 and 4, I'm going to go ahead and click on 3 and 4 and delete them. Let's see, it still is too large. So see, 8 by 10 and my hoop is too large. So if you were to just bring it down just a tiny bit, let's say, all right, so notice even after the 8 by 10, after I take out those steps 3 and 4, it's still too large for my hoop. There's a really easy way. Look at this. There's this button right here that says fit to hoop. If I click on that, it automatically makes it the size that I need it to fit in my hoop. So that's an easy way to do it. You can also put in specific percentages if you choose, but this made my design 7.5 by 9 3/8, and that makes it fit in my hoop, and it did it all according to size, as far as kept it aspect for the width and the length. So that works out really well. That's an easy way to do it if your hoop is too small for your design. And like I said, you can do that on your embroidery machine as well. Most embroidery machines have where you go to edit and there's a little button that shows like all the arrows going in to bring it in a little bit, and that will work fine. So I'm going to say undo, undo. I wonder if I can bring back my, nope, I can't. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this and bring it in again and use my hoop. So I'm going to go to merge stitch file and bring in that design again, my 8 by 10 hobby 6, and it's too large again. So I'm going to go up here to preferences and change to my 9 by 14 hoop. All right, and then go back to that compass button. Okay, so that's the quilting design. Now we need to bring in the sewing machine. So I'm going to close up the quilting. And let's see, that's the quilting bundle. Here's my embroidery files. Pez is what I use for my machine. So Happy is the quilt we're working on. And we're looking for the sewing machine. And it's 6 by 10, so we should find it scrolling down. There's the 6 by 10 right there. I'm just scrolling down to make sure there's no others. All right, and don't forget there is a 5 by 7 for those using their 5 by 7 hoop. Okay, so there's 5 by 7 PDF, I should say. All right, so there it is. It's all centered in the hoop, and that's all perfect. I'm actually going to rotate it so that I can see it easily. So I'm going to go ahead and click on both designs. Actually, you know what I'm going to do first? If you click on this hoop, I believe, if I remember, you double click. So see, I double clicked on the hoop and it turned my hoop. You can see that it's landscape view now, and then I can click on both of these designs and rotate it just so that I can see it. I'll obviously rotate it back when I get to my machine, but I want to be able to see it for now. So my thought is I would like to add, and it's a little hard to see with this quilting design here, and you don't have to do these together, by the way. You could have your quilting design, load your quilting design. You could do your sewing machine completely separate. In fact, I think I'm going to do that just so that it's easier to view. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do File, New Page, and I am going to copy this. Control C, go to this tab. This is just so that we can see it easily. And again, we have to double click on that hoop. And I am going to delete this quilting design just so that we have an easier way for you all to see on this tutorial. So you could bring them both in. You could open up just your quilting design on your embroidery machine and then bring in the sewing machine that you have altered if you choose to do this as well. So like I mentioned, Heidi Todd changed her the little piece of fabric that was hanging down off the machine. That's a fun way to personalize it. Another fun way I thought is I want to add my name here. You could add something. You could have it say "so happy." You could have it say "good vibes." You could have it say your name, whatever you want. Something fun here. I think that would be really fun. And now my mind is going, ooh, good vibes. I like that idea. Or so happy, but there is a block that says so happy. So we have to remember that. And there's also a block that says life is so good. So I'm thinking Cristin creates. I think that that would be really fun. So if you do decide to add something onto this black leather, keep in mind that there will be this fabric that's going to hang down here. And if you look at the picture, it looks like it starts just before this this break in the sewing machine. So right here. So I'm thinking that we have all of this space to use, and it could be really fun. So happy would be fun. Good vibes. Oh my gosh, so many fun ideas now. All right. So anyway, I am going to go to this. So this will be a really good opportunity. I've had a lot of people ask, what are some good fonts to use? How do we use them? So, and I've done lots of tutorials on that. But so this will be a good recap. We actually haven't used wording in a while. So I'm going to go up here to this. Let's see what it says. Create letters. There it is. So the A is for creating letters. And what it does is it automatically brings in this block style that comes with Embrilliance Essentials. You get a few fonts with the purchase. And that's actually, I've used this one several times. I like this one. But the other option is you can bring in your fonts that you already have from your computer. And all you do is unzip the file when you purchase a design or a font. When you purchase the font, unzip it, and then you just drag it onto the workspace and it will load onto Embrilliance Essentials for you. And then when you use your fonts, you can see you have them already loaded. So it's pretty cool because actually my hard drive failed the other day and I don't have access to all of my fonts or my designs. I don't have access to anything right now until I pray that a company will be able to fix my hard drive for me. I haven't taken it in yet to try that. But so it's pretty cool that they're loaded onto Embrilliance already. So I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to re-download all of these fonts. They're already loaded onto Embrilliance once you do that one time. All right, so now I have a lot of them, and so we'll just try a few of them, and then we'll be able to talk about some different fonts and what looks good and what fits in this area. Look at this Glorious Grace. That's a nice little one. I'm going to try Glorious Grace. I can't imagine what it looks like off the top of my head. So you saw all I did is I click on it and it will change that font, but we want to put our text in. All right, so whatever you want it to say. So think of Cristin, you could put in the year, you could put so happy or good vibes or something that is special to you. It's not going to matter. So you just type it in here and hit return, and then it automatically changes that, and we can easily adjust it. We can change the sizing of it. You can make it multiple layers as far as Cristin creates. Let me see if I remember. Yep, just like that. All right, and then when you resize it, now I want to point this out. When you resize it, it will tell you when you can't do it anymore. So see, it stopped at that point because then it will become distorted. And so you want to be able to use a font that will fit. And whether you're doing 1 line or 2 line, notice I changed it using this button to 2 lines. I'm going to change it back to 1 line, and then I think it takes away the Cristin, let's see, or the creates. Let me just retype this. There we go. Cristin creates. There we go. And see, it does it automatically for you. So this Embrilliance Essentials, there's so many things about Embrilliance Essentials that so many of us have been like, oh my gosh, this is just so easy. But fonts, it's just out of the world. I mean, like, just amazing. It works so well. So you can easily just resize it. You can change the orientation of it. You can do so many different things. So keep in mind, though, that we don't want this too far over or it will be covered by that fabric piece. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're choosing your size and your wording of how you want it to be. So I actually like that right there, but we're going to try lots of different ones just so that you can get some ideas. So I'm going to write them down so that I remember which ones that I like so that I can go back to it, so that I can make my final decision. I like to do that. I like to try out different ones. Plus it gives you an opportunity before purchasing them. You can see what they look like and see what you like. All right, so this one was Grace. What was it called? Let's see here. If I click on the letters, there it is. Glorious Grace. Now this is by Designs by Juju. Glorious Grace, and I'm using the 1 inch, and it's by Designs by Juju. All right, I really like that look right there. I like that a lot, actually. All right, so I'm going to click on the wording, and then I'm going to go ahead and just click on here to be able to try others. So let's see this Harry. Designs by Juju Harry. There's another option. I don't like that one nearly as much, but you might. So I'm just showing you different options. They move pretty quickly, by the way. So this is, oh, I like that a lot. That is June Apple by Designs by Juju. That's super cute. It's a lot wider though. So you have to keep in mind the area that you're using and the look that you'll need, because you would have to shrink this down and then you're not going to see the letters quite as much. And you don't want to obviously fill up this entire space because we are using that black leather, and we want to make sure that it's not in the seam at all from where we're going to cut. All right, so just keep all these little intricacies in mind. All right, that is June Apple by Designs by Juju. And let's see, what about Magic Moon? All right, so that's like a cursive one. That's another look that you might be interested in. What's this one? Pixie. Oh, that's super cute, but it's too wide, I think. So I'm going to click outside so you can see it better. That is Pixie. Let me see if I click on this, it'll tell me Pixie by Designs by Juju. All right, and then let's try some more. What is this? Seek Out. Oh, see, it moves very quickly. Seek Out. All right, that's another Designs by Juju, I believe. I don't like the look of that for this specific project. I actually have a spreadsheet that I made that shows me at a glance all of the different fonts, but that is on the hard drive that has failed. This one is Springtime Sunshine. That's really cute, actually. Super cute. But again, it's wide, and we don't have a whole lot of room on this one. What about Watermelon? Let's see what this is. Watermelon Margarita. That's cute. Watermelon Margarita. That would be really cute on a kid's shirt. I like that. All right, Watermelon Margarita from Designs by Juju. Yahoo's. This looks like it's going to, Yazoo. Looks like it's going to be very wide. Oh, that's really pretty. I like that. And keep in mind that with a script font, you would bring the letters in closer. So, but it's still, I think it's too wide for this specific purpose, but that's a really pretty one. Yazoo by Designs by Juju. All right, and then there's I have a lot of specialty fonts too. This handwriting is cute. Let's see what that looks like. That's very large, and that's the extra small size. So that's a big one. All right, and what's this? Itch to Stitch marker. Oh, that's really cute. Again, too large, but very cute. I'll click outside so you can see it. This is from Itch to Stitch. Itch to Stitch was bought out by Designs by Juju, so you can find most of their designs that I purchased long ago. Most of them will be on the Designs by Juju site now. All right, what is this? Teeny Tiny. Oh, that's huge. Teeny Tiny. But keep in mind, you can always resize it. Oh, that's as small as it gets, though. That's very wide. All right, so that was Teeny Tiny by Itch to Stitch. What a Time by Itch to Stitch. That is cute. Oh, that's super cute. That is a script font So you would tighten those words up a little bit, but still too large. That's What a Time. What a Time by Itch to Stitch. And again, you would be able to find that most likely on the Designs by Juju site. All right, what else do we have? Madeline. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's pretty. Too big. Madeline, and that is by Planet Applique, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't say. Let's see. Modern Leaves. I don't think that's going to be a good look. Oh, that's really neat, actually. Boy, that's really neat. I like that much more than I thought I would. That's really cute. It's too big, but let's see if we can shrink it down. Yep. That's a really cute look. I like that a lot. So that is, what was it? Modern Leaves. It doesn't say who it's by. So that makes me think it might be Planet Applique, but I'm totally guessing. Usually, like the Design by Juju ones, they say DBJJ on the front of it. I'm going to write PA question mark. That's a really cute look, though. I think I might need to go with that one. Let's see if it can get a little bit smaller because it's pretty close to, yep. That's a really good font. I like that a lot. That's really fun. All right, so that is Modern Leaves. Unfortunately, I don't know for certain who it's by, but if I decide to go with that one, I'll certainly provide a link under this tutorial. All right, so let's keep looking. Go down here. It could actually be Stitchtopia. I wonder if Stitchtopia gives their Stitchtopia. Oh, here's Stitchtopia. So these Stitchtopia, they do say in the front. So that one very likely is not a Stitchtopia because they have their name in it. That's very smart marketing from companies. You should have your name on everything so that people can find it. All right, that's Stitchtopia Almond Cookies. That's a super pretty font. I've used this in a lot of things. I like it a lot. It's Almond Cookies. It's too wide for this specific purpose, but it's a really fun font to work with. I like that one a lot. I've used it a lot. This one looks like it'll be too wide, but let's check. Oh, that's a really pretty one. What was that? Stitchtopia Favorite Color. Isn't that adorable? That's a super cute one. Definitely too big for this purpose, but a really cute font. Stitchtopia. Favorite Color. Maya, this is one I use all the time. This is probably one of my favorite fonts. It's thick and bold. It's a really good one for embroidering on shirts. I use it a lot. Maya by Stitchtopia. It's a script font. All right, let's see. All right, now we're at the bottom. Modern Farmhouse. Let's see that. Oh, that's super pretty. Look at that. Modern Farmhouse by Stitchtopia. That's super pretty. And very little changes needed on this one. Usually on scripts, you need quite a few changes. You can see that like this E, I would pull in a little bit, and this E, and I'd bring this R down. So there are some changes that would be needed, but not a lot actually on that one. And that is Modern Farmhouse by Stitchtopia. That's a really pretty font. I like that a lot. Sugar Cookie, I think, will be too big. That's really cute. Definitely too big, but super cute. Stitchtopia Sugar Cookie. And where are we? Sarah is a very scripty font. I've used that several times. Monte Carlo, that's very scripty, very pretty. Modern Farmhouse, that's the one we just checked. Maya is the one that I use a lot. Mariah also is one that I've used a lot. It's really a pretty script font. Favorite Color, we checked that. Elegant, look at how elegant that is. I've used that as a monogram. That's a very pretty monogram. Daisy, this Charlotte is very pretty. I like that. I think it's a little bit thinner if I recall. Let's go ahead and look at it. Yeah, lots of adjusting on that one, but it's just pulling it in. It's not a big deal. I think a script font for this one would be a little too much. I want more of a simple. How about Banana Bread? Let's try Banana Bread. Oh, that's super cute. Too wide. but super cute. Banana Bread by Stitchtopia. Let's see what else. We tried Almond Cookies. Alexa, I've used that one a lot. That's a really pretty font. And that was, let's see, that was Stitchtopia, a script font. Quinlan, that's pretty. Let's see. Oh, that's very pretty. So you could change the colors when they've got all of these different colors. You could change them all to be one color so that your machine's not stopping over and over, or you could certainly utilize it if you wanted to change all of your colors. On this black, obviously, we're going to want white or something that's going to stand out, so we wouldn't need that. So I would just change the colors so that the machine's not stopping over and over. Polina looks like a very tight one. That one would fit very well. I think this is Planet Applique, if I recall. Again, I don't have access to my spreadsheets, though. They are on that hard drive that failed. Melanie, this is a nice tight font. Let's see. Oh, I don't like that. Melanie, that would be for a specific look, not for this. All right, let's see. Madeline Open, that's super pretty, but too big. Very, very pretty. I like that. Here's some by Lenny Penny. Lenny Penny has fun ones, I think, really fun ones. Lots of cute, fun fonts. So see, like this Fair Isle. How cool is that? They have a lot of really interesting fonts for specific purposes. Let's see, what is Katie, Carissa? Let's see what that looks like. Too scripty. And James Sketch. Too big. So, like I mentioned, Embrilliance will tell you how much you can change them as far as the size, how much you can shrink them down before it starts distorting them. And a lot of programs don't do that, so that's not a nice thing. We checked Teeny Tiny, it was large. Only Hope. So this is a really neat font. I've used this a lot of times. I think it doesn't get quite small enough. The smallest is 1.5 inches, but it's a cool font. And this Nick font is fun. That's an Itch to Stitch marker. We checked that. Ballerina Script. This is a beautiful font. I love this one. And if I recall, I did not find it on Designs by Juju because Designs by Juju has one that is similar. So they didn't load the Ballerina Script that they got from Itch to Stitch, if I recall correctly. All right, Heidi font. That's very wide. Super cute. That'd be cute on a kid's shirt. See the hearts on the eyes? That's so cute. That's fun. Handwriting. Gabby, Sketch Arrows. These are really fun. So these are Embroidery Boutique, and Embroidery Boutique has lots of really fun sketch fonts. They have lots of regular fonts too, but their sketch fonts are really pretty neat, and they're very large, so you wouldn't be able to use it on something like this, but just to show you the detail on it. Isn't that fun? And like I said, those are by Embroidery Boutique. All right, and then there's that Yazoo Wyatt. I remember this was a tight one. So Wyatt, you could make that small enough that would fit. This was by Designs by Juju, Wyatt. And let's see, what else? Willie. Willie looks tight enough. Let's see, Willie. Oh, that's really cute. I like that. It's too big, but that's a really cute font. Super cute. Willie by Designs by Juju. And then what do we have? Strawberry Muffins. It looks too wide. Yep. Strawberry Muffins by Designs by Juju. Springtime Sunshine. That's cute. Springtime Sunshine. That's by Designs by Juju. And Simon. That is a nice tight font. That one would work. You could definitely shrink that down enough to fit. Simon by Designs by Juju. And Seek Out, I think we tried, oh yeah. And Seeing Double, this is a fun one. Too wide, but that's a fun one. Seeing Double by Designs by Juju. And then Regency, that's a really pretty font. I like that as a simple font, but it's very wide. Designs by Juju, Regency. Raffles, let's try Raffles. That's like a block font by Designs by Juju. And then Pixie. Oh, that was that cute one. We tried that already. It's too wide. And that's Designs by Juju. Ophelia, Milo. Too wide. That's by Designs by Juju. Milo. Maybelline. That's a scripty font. And let's see. Magic Moon. Lovely Farm. Very wide. That was Designs by Juju as well. And Lily is scripty. Kelsey, that's a really cute one. It's too scripty. June Apple, did we try that? June Apple is super cute, and you could shrink that down enough. That would work. That's June Apple by Designs by Juju. And Hero. That's very wide. That's Designs by Juju as well. Harry looks like it would fit. Yep, Harry. I don't really like that look for this though. That's Designs by Juju. Grandma's House. That's wide and you'd have to shrink it up. Grade School. Grade School by Designs by Juju. That's very wide as well. Oh, Gingerbread. I remember I like this one. Gingerbread. Isn't that cute? It's got little dots underneath all the letters. I've used this before. It's a really cute one, and you could shrink that up. That would actually work. Probably. It's pretty wide. Gingerbread by Designs by Juju. Franklin. Fish Fingers. That looks like a narrow one. Yep, that would work. Fish Fingers. You could shrink that up enough. That's Designs by Juju. Everything. It's a little wide. Designs by Juju, Everything. Cookies and Cream. I've used that. Calvin, that looks very wide. Board Book. What about that? Let's try Board Book. Too wide. All right, Awake looks pretty wide by Designs by Juju. Isn't it cool? You can just go through these and see how they're going to look for your specific wording even. Beneath Your Beautiful. I've used this one a lot. I like this one. Beneath Your Beautiful. This is Designs by Juju. Itch to Stitch had it as well. Strawberry Whipped Cream. That's a fun one, but too wide. Piece by Piece. That one could be shrunk enough probably. That's Designs by Juju. On the lighter side, it looks very wide. Marsha Script. No, you'd have to do some stuff to that to make it work. Happy Home. That's very wide. That's Designs by Juju. Chubby Cheeks. I'm sure this will be too wide, but let's just see. Yeah, that's cute though. Chubby Cheeks by Designs by Juju. Celeste. That looks scripty. I don't know who these are by. These BX Sketch. It looks like Embroidery Boutique, but I think Embroidery Boutique usually puts the name in them. So these BKs, these are Baby K. See up here, these BK. Baby K, I believe, was sold, I don't remember, Gemini, Red Gemini, something like that. But they were sold as well. But you can still get their supplies also. If you were to go to the Baby K Applique website, I'm sure it has the link to the new company. I think it's something... I don't remember off the top of my head. Love Mug. This is a thin one. That one would work well. That is, who was that? Baby K, Love Mug. And I think we're getting near the end here. Cat Scratch. That's very wide. Cat Scratch by Baby K. You can see I have a lot of fonts. I have definitely worked on purchasing lots of fonts. So this one is Applique Market. Applique Market has a lot of fonts as well, and a lot of different fonts. This one is Skinny Farmhouse. I don't like the look of it for this specific purpose. Say Something by Applique Market. That's a cute font, but too wide for this purpose. All right, I think that's it. So yeah, I've used that Skinny Farmhouse. It works really well for designs that you need something narrow. So I like Glorious Grace. Let's see if we can find it again. It's probably under DBJJ. Some of them say DBJJ on the front of them, and that some don't. So they won't always be in order. So you can see if it were, it would be right here, and it's not. So it's probably under Glorious Grace then. Hopefully. Lots of fonts. Very blessed to have lots of fonts, and you get to see them all to help decide what you like for your wording. That's E. Oh, G. It's not under G either. How do we find this? It was Glorious Grace. Maybe it had a space. I wonder if there's a search bar. A search bar would be very helpful. All right, so see, this is DBJJ, and then it goes right into the wording, whereas some of them are DBJJ space and then the word, and that's why they don't come up in alphabetical order. So I liked this one, Glorious Grace. That looks really good, and you can shrink it down enough to have it fit right. So that looks good. And then I also liked Modern Leaves. I think I like Modern Leaves better. So Glorious Grace is by Designs by Juju. And then there was a Modern Leaves. And this one, it didn't say who it's by. Right there, Modern Leaves. I like the look of that too. I like that a lot. I think I like that better. And again, you don't want it so big that it might be too tight, but I think that would fit. The big thing is you just don't want it over here where this fabric is going to be. It's going to come off to the side here. So I think that this looks really good. I like that. So I'm going to use that. That's Modern Leaves. I will try to find out where I bought this design from. I'm hoping it's, I don't know. I'm going to have to do a little research. So that's what I was thinking of doing, something different to make it unique. And like I said, you can use whatever wording you like if you choose to even do this. I think that will be fun. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in this Hobby 6. I'm going to say Control C just so I can have them all together. And I'm going to say Control V and I'm going to put it above. So let's see. If I right click it, let's see if I can make it go first. There we go. Right click, move earlier. Oh, I should have said move first. Oh well, move earlier. All right, so now I have my quilting on the bottom, and then I have the sewing machine, and then I have the letters that I'm going to do. So that's perfect. I do want to rotate the whole thing so that it will fit in my embroidery machine. I'm going to go ahead and double click on the hoop, and then I'm going to click on all 3 designs and I'm going to rotate. Very simple. Don't you love Embrilliance Essentials? I'm quite amused with it. If you're in the market for embroidery software, please use my affiliate link to purchase the software. I would appreciate it. It gives me a tiny little kickback, help keep me doing these tutorials. Since YouTube is loving to do copyright on my songs that are not copyright. I'm getting like all these hits on copyrights. It's bugging me. But anyway, all right, back to work. So we have all 3 of these. I'm going to make sure to do a file, save stitch file as. And let's see, I'm in my red, white, and bloom quilt because that's what I was working on this morning. And I'm going to go to Oh So Delightful. And oh, the embroidery, I'm in the quilting bundle. Whoops. Oh, So Delightful embroidery files, Pez, So Happy. And I'm going to name this Sewing Machine CC, Cristin Creates. That's just so that I know it's the personalized one. Sewing Machine CC. Name it whatever will help you to find it, and then you can send it to your machine if you have a Wi-Fi machine. I'm going to go to Utility, Send to Solaris. Notice I did not do any color sorting or anything. You don't need to do that with this. So I'm just sending it directly to my machine. You could transfer it to your USB stick. Either way will work fine. Make sure that before you do your save and before you transfer it to your machine or your USB stick, make sure that you have your letters the way that you want them, sized and all of that. And we're good to go. So let's get playing. And my goal for So Happy, actually it's for all of Oh So Delightful, is good vibes. So I want to hear how you're doing with your goal. I will share a little bit about mine. I just got back from California, so I had a wonderful trip. I got to see my mother, and my mother turned 80 years old the other day, and so we got to do a little tiny surprise party, just a little bit, and that was really fun with all of the kids. And we had a really, really great trip, and got back and went to church, and there was a gal in church that had a shirt that said good vibes on the shirt. I really wanted to take her picture and share it with you just because that's my goal. I thought that would be really funny, but I thought she'd think I was just crazy. So I didn't do it, but definitely good vibes from my vacation, getting back and unpacking and 81 emails, and I need a vacation just from my vacation. But getting back into it, I used my seam ripper really well last night. So I need to get back into the swing of things in the right way, because I made a mistake on my red, white, and bloom quilt and stayed up way too late with my seam ripper. So I didn't get a workout last night, which was a bummer, especially after so much driving. We did 9 hours from Idaho to California one day, and then 9 hours back. And then also in between, we did a 6-hour drive to San Francisco to see my other grandson, my littlest grandson. So a lot of driving and not a whole lot of time with my grandkids, but just enough to get filled up and good vibes and feel all ready to get ready for summer. It's not here yet, but it's getting there. Even spring. But anyway, what are you doing for your goal? I want to hear about it. And my shirt today is a really fun one. This is from Embroidery Library. It has a bicycle, and it's got a sewing machine and sewing supplies. It's a really cute design. I will add information underneath this video of where I got the design with the direct link for you. And the shirt is one of my favorites. I love this shirt. So you can see it's a stretchy shirt, and it's got a hood, and it has a little kangaroo pocket, it's called. And it's a great shirt to embroider on. It's really easy because of that stretch. You can manipulate it a little bit. You just want to make sure and stabilize any shirts that stretch. You want to make sure and stabilize it well. So make sure and watch my tutorial on making a shirt. It shows you exactly what supplies I recommend. But anyway, great shirt. I will add a link to the shirt up here. I think it goes up there. It's a great one. It comes in several sizes and several colors, and it's a great shirt. I really like this one. I've got it in several colors, and I've embroidered on all of them.